Master Sergeant Rodriguez looked at the convoy manifest and shook his head. Great, they're sending us a supply clerk. Just what we need on a high-risk run through the Korengelsum pencil pusher who probably can't tell a rifle from a radio. 3 hours later, as smoke cleared from the ambush site, Rodriguez stared at 9 confirmed enemy casualties scattered across the ridgeline, each dropped by precision shots at distances exceeding 800 yards. The supply clerk was already checking ammunition counts with the same calm efficiency she'd used to requisition their breakfast MREs. Staff Sergeant Maya Chen adjusted her ACU jacket and checked her gear one final time before reporting to the motor pool. At 28, she possessed an unremarkable build at 5'6", with practical brown hair pulled back in regulation style. Her most distinctive feature was a pair of unusually pale green eyes that seemed to catalog every detail around her with mechanical precision. To most observers, she appeared to be exactly what her paperwork indicated, a 92, a automated logistical specialist assigned to convoy security as additional personnel. Master Sergeant Rodriguez briefed the convoy team with his typical gruff efficiency. We're running supplies to Fob Blessing through some dicey territory. Intelligence reports possible Taliban activity along Route Bear, so we're taking the scenic route through the valley. Chen, you're riding in the trail vehicle with Corporal Martinez. Keep your head down and don't touch anything you don't understand. Understood, Master Sergeant. Chen replied in a measured tone that revealed nothing of her actual qualifications. Specialist Jackson, the team's designated marksman, examined his M24 sniper weapon system with exaggerated care. At least someone brought a real rifle to this party, he announced, ensuring Chen could hear. These supply types usually show up with nothing but a rusty M16 they've never fired outside of basic training. Chen methodically checked her own Wapona standard-issue M4 carbine that appeared entirely unremarkable except for subtle modifications to the trigger group and barrel that would be invisible to casual observation. Her additional gear included a rangefinder, wind meter, and ballistic calculator that most soldiers would assume belonged to a forward observer rather than a logistics specialist. The convoy consisted of 4 mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicles loaded with ammunition, medical supplies, and communications equipment destined for the forward operating base. Chen's position in the 4th MRAP provided optimal overwatch capabilities for the entire convoy's movement, though her official assignment specified equipment monitoring and inventory control. As they departed the main base, Chen studied the terrain features along their planned route. The Korengel Valley presented numerous tactical challenges. Elevation changes exceeding 3.0 feet, unpredictable wind patterns, and countless concealed positions offering enemy forces significant advantages. Her pale green eyes tracked potential firing positions with the systematic precision of someone who had spent years analyzing such terrain under very different circumstances. Rodriguez's voice crackled over the radio. All stations, maintain 15-meter intervals and watch for IEDs. Intelligence indicates possible small arms contact in Sector 7, Delta. Chen opened her laptop and began what appeared to be routine logistics tracking. In reality, she was accessing classified ballistic software and updating environmental data for the region. Temperature, 80, 9 degrees Fahrenheit. Barometric pressure, 25.9, 2 inches of mercury. Humidity, 23%. Wind speed at valley floor, 8-12 miles per hour from the southwest, with significant variability at elevation. Corporal Martinez glanced at Chen's screen. You really take that supply stuff seriously, huh? Most people would just fake the numbers and call it good. Accuracy matters in logistics, Chen replied, continuing her calculations. Small errors compound into major operational failures. Her fingers moved across the keyboard with practiced efficiency, inputting range cards for potential engagement zones along their route. The ballistic program calculated trajectories for various ammunition types across distances from 100 to 1, 200 yards, accounting for elevation changes and environmental factors that would challenge even experienced marksmen. Jackson's voice came over the internal communications system. Movement at 2 o'clock, approximately 600 yards. Looks like goat herders, but staying alert. Chen's eyes moved to the indicated position without apparent urgency. Her assessment was more precise. 3 individuals in traditional clothing, carrying objects that could be herding implements or concealed weapons. Their positioning suggested possible reconnaissance rather than legitimate pastoral activity. Distance: 627 yards. Elevation: 147 feet above convoy position. Wind conditions: 11 miles portering from the southeast. She made no comment about her observations, instead continuing her apparent focus on inventory management. Her military occupational specialty officially restricted her to logistics operations, and challenging the designated marksman's assessment would violate expected protocols. The convoy navigated through increasingly challenging terrain as the valley narrowed. Steep ridgelines provided countless positions for potential ambushes, while the deteriorating road surface forced reduced speeds that extended their exposure time. Rodriguez maintained constant communication with higher headquarters, receiving updated intelligence reports that painted an increasingly concerning tactical picture. All stations, be advised. Intelligence reports possible. Enemy positions, in grid squares 40, 1 RPQ 234,567 through 41 RPQ 245,578. Maintain heightened alert status and prepare for possible contact. Chen cross-referenced the grid coordinates with her digital map display. The reported area encompassed approximately 200 square meters of elevated terrain, offering excellent fields of fire across the convoy's planned route. Multiple concealed positions could accommodate small teams armed with rifles, rocket-propelled grenades, and improvised explosive devices. Her background provided insights that her official records carefully omitted. Maria Elena Chen had grown up on a ranch in Montana, where her grandfather, a Korean War veteran and former Marine Scout sniper, had taught her to shoot before she could properly hold a rifle. By age 16, she was routinely engaging prairie dogs at distances exceeding 800 yards, using her grandfather's modified Remington 700. Her mathematical aptitude had earned a full scholarship to MIT, where she studied applied physics and ballistics before joining the military through an obscure program that didn't appear in standard recruiting literature. The official story listed her as a supply specialist with unremarkable qualifications. The classified addendum, accessible only to personnel with specific clearances, told a very different story about specialized training and operational deployments that never officially occurred. As the convoy approached the most dangerous section of their route, Chen completed her environmental calculations and stored the data in encrypted files. Her equipment manifest officially included only standard communications gear and basic personal weapons. The unofficial inventory would have revealed precision optics, specialized ammunition, and ballistic computers that belonged to elite sniper units rather than logistics personnel. Rodriguez's final transmission, before entering the danger area, carried characteristic skepticism. "Chen, stay in your lane back there. If things get sporty, leave the shooting to the professionals and keep your head down. We didn't bring you along to play soldier." "Copy, Master Sergeant," Chen replied, her tone revealing nothing of her actual capabilities or the detailed engagement plan she had just completed. "Just doing my job." The convoy entered the narrowest section of the valley, with Chen maintaining her apparent focus on supply tracking, while actually conducting final range estimations for 17 potential firing positions she had identified along the Dyas ridgeline. In approximately 12 minutes, those calculations would prove more valuable than anyone could have imagined. The first indication of trouble came at 1,000 347 hours, when Rodriguez's lead vehicle triggered an improvised explosive device concealed beneath a drainage culvert. The blast disabled the MRAP's left front wheel and filled the air with smoke and debris, immediately transforming the convoy's orderly movement into a desperate tactical situation. "Ide! All stations, we have contact." Rodriguez's voice cut through radio static as automatic weapons fire erupted from multiple positions along the eastern ridgeline. Chen's pale green eyes tracked muzzle flashes with mechanical precision, while her hands continued typing logistics data as though nothing unusual was occurring. The attack followed a textbook L-shaped ambush pattern. The IED served as the trigger, followed by coordinated small arms fire from elevated positions designed to pin the convoy in the kill zone. Jackson deployed from the second vehicle and immediately began engaging targets with his M24. "I count at least 6 shooters in the rocks at grid 40, 1 RPQ 237,571. Range approximately 750 yards. Elevation 200 feet above our position." The specialist's shots were technically competent, but failed to account for the complex wind patterns created by the valley's topography. His first 3 rounds impacted low and left of the intended targets, prompting frustrated radio calls for indirect fire support that wasn't available in their current location. Martinez crouched behind their MRAP's armor plating, returning fire with his Mi-4 carbine at maximum effective range. "This is fucking hopeless. They're too far up the mountain for our rifles." Chen observed the tactical situation with clinical detachment. The enemy had positioned themselves between 650 and 890 yards from the convoy's location, utilizing natural rock formations that provided excellent concealment and fields of fire. Wind conditions at the ridgeline differed significantly from valley floor measurements, approximately 15–18 miles per hour, with gusty conditions created by thermal updrafts and terrain channeling effects. Rodriguez's voice carried increasing desperation. "All stations. We need immediate close air support or indirect fire. Enemy positions are beyond effective range of our organic weapons systems." "Negative on close air support," came the reply from higher headquarters. "No assets available for immediate response. Estimated time to indirect fire availability, 45 minutes. The mathematical reality was stark. At their current rate of ammunition consumption, the convoy would exhaust its supply in approximately 28 minutes. The enemy positions provided nearly impregnable defensive advantages, while the convoy remained trapped in low ground, with limited cover and no tactical mobility. Jackson fired another series of shots with minimal effect. "I can't get the range. The wind up there is completely different from down here, and I don't have the elevation data for proper dope calculations." Chen continued her apparent logistics work while conducting precise ballistic calculations using her concealed equipment. "Target Alpha, 847 yards, elevation angle, plus 14.7 degrees, wind 16 miles per hour, quartering left to right. Target Bravo, 723 yards, elevation angle plus 18.2 degrees, wind 14 miles per hour, full value left to right." The ballistic solution required compensating for the Coriolis effect at these ranges, along with temperature-induced powder variations and atmospheric density changes due to elevation. "Master Sergeant." Chen's voice cut through the radio chatter with calm precision. "Request permission to attempt long-range engagement with alternative methodology." Rodriguez's response carried obvious irritation. "Negative, Chen. This isn't a supply room. Stay in your lane and let the real soldiers handle this." Another burst of enemy fire impacted near their position, sending rock fragments ricocheting off the MRAP's armor. Martinez ducked instinctively while continuing his ineffective return fire. "They've got us pinned down solid. Every time we try to move, they drop rounds right on top of us." Chen opened her equipment case and began assembling what appeared to be a standard M4 carbine with minor modifications. Her movements were economical and practiced, suggesting familiarity that extended far beyond basic military training. The weapon's actual specifications would have surprised anyone who examined it closely: a precision barrel, match, grade trigger, and specialized optics designed for extended range engagements. "Master Sergeant Rodriguez," she transmitted again, "I have ballistic solutions for all observed enemy positions. Request permission to engage with precision fire." "What part of stay in your lane didn't you understand?" Rodriguez snapped back. "You're a supply clerk, not a sniper. The maximum effective range of an M4 is 500 meters, and these targets are at least 750. It's mathematically impossible." Chen's pale green eyes tracked another muzzle flash from the ridgeline, while her fingers continued calculations on the ballistic computer. "Respectfully, Master Sergeant, the mathematical impossibility applies only to conventional engagement parameters. With precise ballistic data and proper environmental compensation, extended range engagements are feasible." Jackson's voice interrupted with barely controlled frustration. "Look, supply girl, I've got years of training and a precision rifle system, and I can't hit these targets consistently. Whatever you think you know about shooting, this isn't the time for amateur hour." The tactical situation continued deteriorating as enemy fire intensified. One round impacted within 3 feet of Martinez's position, demonstrating the attackers' improving accuracy as they adjusted for range and wind conditions. The convoy's return fire remained largely ineffective due to the extreme range and challenging environmental factors. Chen methodically loaded her magazine with specialized ammunition: 168-grain Sierra Match King hollow point boat tail bullets, loaded to precise specifications for optimal ballistic performance. Each round had been carefully prepared with uniform powder charges and consistent overall length measurements that would be invisible to casual observation, but critical for precision at extended ranges. "Time is a critical factor," she transmitted with unchanged calm. "Each minute of delay increases the probability of casualty and mission failure. Request immediate authorization for precision engagement." Rodriguez's patience finally broke. "Fine. You want to waste ammunition proving that physics works? Go ahead. But when you fail to hit anything past 300 meters, I don't want to hear any excuses about wind or elevation or whatever other bullshit you supply types use to explain poor performance." Chen's response was delivered in the same measured tone she had used for routine logistics communications. "Copy, Master Sergeant. Commencing precision engagement. Estimated time to neutralize all identified targets: 3 minutes, 15 seconds. Martinez stared at her in disbelief. 3 minutes? Lady, you're about to find out why they don't send supply clerks to sniper school." Chen adjusted her optics and began her firing sequence, her pale green eyes focusing with laser-like intensity on the first target position. The next 3 minutes would fundamentally alter every assumption her colleagues had made about both her capabilities and the tactical possibilities available to their convoy. Chen settled into a modified prone position behind the MRAP's rear wheel, her M4 carbine extended through a gap in the vehicle's armor plating. Her breathing regulated to a precise rhythm: 4 counts in, 4 counts hold, 4 counts out, while her pale green eyes acquired the first target through her scope. "Target Alpha, 847 yards. Elevation plus 14.7 degrees, she whispered into her radio. More for documentation than communication. "Wind 16 miles per hour, quartering left to right. Engaging." Her first shot broke at the natural respiratory pause with mechanical precision. The 168-grain projectile followed a carefully calculated trajectory, compensating for bullet drop of 23.4 inches, wind drift of 8.7 inches left, and atmospheric conditions that would have challenged conventional ballistic calculations. The impact occurred 1.3 seconds after bullet release, a center mass hit that immediately silenced the enemy position. The radio crackled with shocked commentary from witnesses who had expected a clean miss at such an extreme range. "Holy shit," Martinez breathed, temporarily forgetting radio protocol. That was an impossible shot. Chen was already transitioning to her second target without pause or celebration. Target Bravo, 723 yards, elevation plus 18.2 degrees. Wind 14 miles per hour, full value left to right. Engaging. Her firing cadence maintained consistent intervals of approximately 12 seconds between shots, sufficient time for precise target acquisition and ballistic calculation, but fast enough to prevent enemy forces from adapting to her systematic elimination of their positions. The second projectile struck its intended target with equal precision, dropping another attacker who had been providing covering fire for his companion's movement. Chen's expression remained completely neutral, as though she were conducting routine marksmanship training rather than engaging in life-or-death combat at impossible ranges. Jackson lowered his M24 and stared in stunned silence as Chen continued her methodical engagement sequence. Where the hell did she learn to shoot like that? Those are sub-MOA hits at distances that shouldn't be possible with a carbine. Target Charlie, 658 yards, elevation plus 12.4 degrees. Chen continued her systematic elimination. Wind 13 miles per hour, quarter value right to left. Engaging. Rodriguez watched through his binoculars as another enemy position erupted in dust and debris, followed immediately by the distinctive crack of supersonic bullet passage echoing across the valley floor. The mathematical impossibility he had described minutes earlier was being systematically disproven through practical application of ballistic science. Chen's ammunition expenditure remained exactly 1 round per target, a demonstration of precision that would have impressed professional snipers using dedicated long-range rifle systems. Her M4 carbine, officially rated for 500-meter maximum effective range, was consistently delivering lethal accuracy at nearly twice that distance. Target Delta, 782 yards, elevation plus 16.8 degrees. Crosswind variable, compensating for thermal effects. Engaging. Her fourth shot required slight elevation adjustment due to changing atmospheric conditions, as afternoon temperatures created thermal mirage effects that could deflect projectiles by several inches at extended ranges. Chen's pale green eyes tracked the heat shimmer through her scope, while her ballistic computer updated trajectory calculations in real time. The impact was precise and immediate, eliminating another attacker who had been attempting to maneuver to a more advantageous position. Chen's systematic destruction of enemy forces was creating tactical disruption that extended far beyond simple casualty production. The remaining attackers were losing confidence in their previously secure positions. Martinez had stopped firing entirely, instead watching Chen's demonstration with obvious amazement. "She's hitting targets that I can barely see, and she's doing it with a fucking carbine. This is unfucking believable." Target Echo, 891 yards, maximum observed range. Chen transmitted with unchanged calm. Elevation plus 19.6 degrees. Variable crosswind with thermal interference, adjusting for extended ballistic arc. This engagement represented the technical limits of her weapon system's capabilities. At 891 yards, her projectile would experience significant velocity decay and trajectory drop that required precise compensation for multiple environmental variables. The margin for error approached 0. Chen's breathing cycle extended slightly to accommodate the additional calculation time required for maximum range engagement. Her pale green eyes tracked microscopic indicators of wind direction and thermal effects that would be invisible to most observers. The ballistic solution required accounting for the Coriolis effect, atmospheric pressure variations, and temperature gradients that affected powder burn rates. Her shot broke with characteristic precision after a 15-second preparation period. The projectile followed a high arc that carried it beyond the conventional engagement envelope for infantry weapons, impacting exactly where her calculations had predicted. Confirmed kill at 8.91 yards, Jackson reported, his voice carrying unconcealed amazement. That's beyond the effective range of most sniper rifles, and she's doing it with standard infantry equipment. The remaining enemy forces began withdrawing from their positions as Chen systematically eliminated their tactical advantages. Her precise, methodical engagement had transformed their carefully planned ambush into a catastrophic failure that cost them numerical superiority and positional advantage. Targets Foxtrot through India, range 650 to 834 yards, multiple elevation angles. Chen continued without pause, engaging in sequence to prevent tactical repositioning. Her final 4 shots were delivered in rapid succession, each separated by exactly 10 seconds of target acquisition and ballistic calculation. The systematic elimination continued with mechanical precision that demonstrated training and capabilities far beyond her official military occupational specialty. Rodriguez lowered his radio and stared at Chen with obvious confusion. "What the hell are you really? Supply clerks don't shoot like that. Nobody shoots like that with a carbine at these ranges." Chen completed her final engagement and began conducting immediate action to clear her weapon. Staff Sergeant Maya Chen, 92A, Automated Logistical Specialist, serial number. "Cut the bullshit," Rodriguez interrupted. "I want to know where you learned to shoot like that, and I want to know right now." Chen's pale green eyes met his gaze with characteristic calm. "Physics and applied mathematics, Master Sergeant, combined with sufficient practice under controlled conditions." The convoy's tactical situation had been completely reversed in exactly 3 minutes and 18 seconds. 9 confirmed enemy casualties lay scattered across the ridgeline, each eliminated by precision fire that had seemed mathematically impossible moments earlier. The ambush that had threatened to destroy their entire convoy had been neutralized by a supply clerk whom they had all dismissed as a non-combatant. The aftermath of the engagement revealed the true scope of Chen's accomplishment. As the convoy resumed movement toward Fob Blessing, Rodriguez conducted a detailed assessment of the engagement area using drone reconnaissance assets. 9 confirmed enemy casualties were distributed across the ridgeline at ranges from 658 to 891 yards each, representing a precision shot that would have challenged elite military marksmen using dedicated sniper rifles. "Blessing Base, this is Convoy 77. Rodriguez transmitted to their destination. "Be advised, we had significant enemy contact at Grid 40, 1 RPQ, 237,571. Threat neutralized by organic assets, no friendly casualties, minimal equipment damage. Requesting immediate intelligence debrief upon arrival." The response from Blessing Base carried obvious skepticism. "Copy. 7. Confirm threat neutralization by organic assets. Our intelligence indicated at least 12 enemy personnel in prepared positions with crew-served weapons." Chen continued monitoring her logistics, tracking display, as though the previous engagement had been routine administrative business. Her ammunition expenditure report listed exactly 9 rounds of 5.56mm NATO, fired for equipment testing and calibration purposes. The official paperwork would show no indication of the extraordinary marksmanship demonstration that had saved the convoy. Jackson approached Chen's position with obvious confusion and grudging respect. "Look, I need to know where you learned to shoot like that. I've been through Army marksmanship unit training, and I've never seen anything like what you just did. Those were sub-minute of angle hits at ranges that shouldn't be possible with that weapon system." Chen's response maintained her characteristic understatement. "My grandfather taught me basic marksmanship principles when I was young. The rest is just applied mathematics and environmental compensation." "Basic marksmanship?" Martinez interrupted. Lady, you just eliminated 9 targets at impossible ranges in 3 minutes. That's not basic anything, that's advanced military science. Rodriguez reviewed the engagement data with increasing amazement. Chen's shot placement had been precise enough to achieve immediate incapacitation with every round fired. No wasted ammunition, no missed shots, no requirement for follow-up engagements. The mathematical precision of her performance suggested training and capabilities that existed far beyond conventional military instruction. Upon arrival at FOB Blessing, Chen immediately began standard logistics procedures for equipment accountability and supply distribution. Her demeanor remained completely professional as she processed requisition forms and conducted inventory verification. The only indication of her recent combat engagement was a routine maintenance request for her Mean 4 carbon standard procedure following live fire operations. Captain Williams, the base intelligence officer, arrived within 20 minutes to conduct preliminary debriefing. His questioning focused initially on Rodriguez and Jackson as the convoy's senior personnel, seeking detailed information about enemy tactics and engagement parameters. "The mathematics don't support your report," Williams stated after reviewing the initial data. "Precision rifle systems struggle to achieve consistent accuracy beyond 800 yards under field conditions. An M4 carbine simply cannot deliver the ballistic performance you're describing." Rodriguez glanced toward Chen, who was methodically updating supply records with apparent indifference to the intelligence discussion. "Captain, I witnessed every shot personally. Whatever the mathematics say, the results speak for themselves. 9 confirmed kills at extended range, with 0 misses." Williams requested Chen's participation in the debriefing, expecting routine confirmation of logistics-related observations. Instead, he encountered detailed knowledge of ballistic science, environmental factors, and tactical considerations that exceeded his own intelligence training. "Staff Sergeant Chen, your personnel file indicates supply specialty with standard marksmanship qualifications. Can you explain the apparent discrepancy between your official training record and your demonstrated capabilities?" Chen's pale green eyes met his gaze with characteristic directness. "Sir, my grandfather was a Korean War veteran who emphasized the importance of precision in all military activities. I applied those principles to today's tactical situation using available equipment and environmental data." The explanation was technically accurate, while revealing nothing about classified training programs or specialized qualifications that didn't appear in standard personnel records. Chen's official documentation showed exactly what it was designed to show: an unremarkable logistics specialist with conventional military education. Williams attempted more detailed questioning about Chen's background, seeking information about advanced training schools or specialized assignments. Each inquiry was met with straightforward responses that confirmed her official record, while providing no insight into her actual qualifications. "Where did you acquire ballistic calculation software and precision ammunition?" Williams asked, noting the sophisticated equipment Chen had employed during the engagement. "Standard issue items available through normal supply channels, sir. I requisitioned additional equipment for convoy security purposes as authorized by standing operating procedures." The interview continued for 40 minutes, during which Williams became increasingly frustrated by Chen's ability to provide accurate answers that revealed nothing beyond her official status. Her personnel file remained consistent with her responses, despite evidence of capabilities that clearly exceeded her documented training. Following the formal debriefing, Rodriguez approached Chen privately to express his amazement and apologize for his earlier dismissive attitude. "I've been in the Army for 18 years, and I've never seen shooting like that. I was wrong to assume your capabilities based on your job description." Chen's response reflected the same professional courtesy she had maintained throughout their deployment. "No apology necessary, Master Sergeant." Everyone was focused on their assigned responsibilities. The mission succeeded with no friendly casualties, That's what matters. The convoy incident generated classified reports that reached higher headquarters within 6 hours. Chen's demonstration of extraordinary marksmanship capabilities triggered security reviews and background investigations that remained invisible to standard personnel systems. Her official records continued showing routine supply operations, while classified addenda documented capabilities that officially didn't exist. 3 weeks later, Chen received new assignment orders, transferring her to a different unit for specialized logistics training. The paperwork provided no details about her destination or duties, and her departure from FOB Blessing occurred without ceremony or recognition. Most personnel never learned that their supply clerk had possessed capabilities that belonged in elite special operations units. Rodriguez kept the story to himself, understanding instinctively that Chen's true background required protection rather than publicity. The convoy's survival had depended on dismissing conventional assumptions about military occupational specialties and individual capabilities. The most dangerous assumption in military operations was believing that official documentation told the complete story about personnel qualifications. Years later, when military historians studied precision marksmanship developments during the conflict, the Korengal Valley engagement would remain classified above their clearance levels. The official record showed a routine convoy operation with minimal enemy contact and no significant tactical developments. The classified version documented capabilities and performance that changed training doctrine and operational planning across multiple commands. Chen's legacy existed in the minds of soldiers who witnessed impossible shots delivered with casual precision, proving that competence often wore modest uniforms and rarely announced itself with ceremony or recognition. The supply clerk, who eliminated 9 attackers in 3 minutes, had demonstrated that expertise frequently hid behind routine duties and unremarkable appearances. Sometimes the most extraordinary capabilities were exactly where no one thought to look. Subscribe if you believe that true expertise often wears the most humble uniforms, and that underestimating people based on their job titles remains one of the most dangerous mistakes in any profession.